let's welcome Matt Pickering here from Playground Games. You missed the Playground stream. Let's take them through what they can expect in Series 15.
Nice. The theme is great rivalries. Here we have a Forza-thon that fits that theme that I just mentioned, manufacturer A versus B. We've got the Viper ACR versus a Chevrolet Corvette Z06. And we've got a new Horizon story coming to Series 15, which is all about upgrade heroes.
And you know, this is a big deal. This is a Bugatti. A Bugatti is always a big deal.
And one of these, if you were able to buy it, would set you back $5.8 million.
Jeez.
But you can't buy it because they only made 40 and they sold them all on day one. We knew we wanted to add a new business to the game. We felt like it was about time to add another one. And we started out with a high concept of extreme upgrades. That was the original name. Taking a stock car, perhaps one that you wouldn't think is particularly interesting, and then putting this amazing upgrade package on it and then having some real fun with it.
It's done. You have to come and see this. We put on a roof rack.
Roof rack, of course.
4-wheel drive, 800 horsepower, plus chassis stiffening roll bars and reduced weight.
In that final act of the chapter, there are lots of different ways that we explore having fun with the upgraded car. And this one happens to be hooning it around at the rail yards, earning skills.
Right now we're joined by Ali Tack, who is the lead commentator on the Forza RC. What's been your surprise since 5 weeks ago when we started this series?
So many surprises. There's so much stuff happening in the racing that I didn't even expect to see out there. A lot of the teamwork stuff, a lot of the way that drivers are inhabiting roles in their teams, and you know, some drivers choosing to drive slower cars and push through the pack in those, others like being this kind of hare, like blasts off into the distance at the front of the pack.
They aren't meant to go left or right. They're meant to go in a straight line, and we're making them turn.
That's how we can like coax them around the corner.
These cars can handle a little contact, and I think the drivers are responding to that.
Well, they're huge. I mean, the construction of these cars is more like the construction of buildings than it is of vehicles.
There's one particular creator that has been making a lot of waves lately with his work in the Forza paint shop, the one and only PTG Fox.
As soon as I get an idea into my head, I have to have it done. And as soon as I started messing around with these images, trying to get them into a smooth turn or a smooth walk, that's when I knew it was going to take a long time. And that one only took 90 hours.
Take care, everybody. Hey, everyone, welcome. And how's this for a headline? Toyota is coming back to Forza. We have so much more to say. We have a great show. We'll get to Toyota in just a moment. But first, let me welcome you to the November edition of Forza Monthly. My name is Brian Meckberg. I'm here, your host. So glad that you're here joining us. You saw the Playground stream. It's time for Forza Monthly. We have a fantastic show. Before we start talking about Toyota, let me give you a little bit of a preview of what to expect today, because we've got a great show for you ahead in the next hour or so. We got that Toyota announcement. In just moments, we'll tell you more about what to expect from Toyota in Forza. We have a recap of the Forza Horizon 4 Series 16 update. John Knowles will be here in just a moment to take you through the highlights of Series 16, followed by a discussion on the Forza RC. If you've been paying attention to the season, you know we are just days away from the finals. Ali Tack and our good friend Melish will be here on the couch talking all things Forza RC, special guests, fun stuff going on with that. Can't wait to get to all of that. We also have a look at ClimbCon 2 from Hoonigan. We got some cool behind-the-scenes stuff there, and a look ahead to the December Forza Monthly show. It'll be here before you know it. But welcome. We are here in November, and it's time to talk Toyota. You saw it at the Playground stream. They did the big unveil, and we're here to officially confirm that Toyota is coming back to the Forza franchise. We are just overjoyed about this news. I know that you guys in the community are fired up about this. You've been asking for it. We've been wanting it. You've been wanting it. It's happening. Toyota is back. Now, here's what you need to know. Moving ahead, you guys can expect cars from Toyota, from Lexus, you know, maybe even Scion, to be in Forza for years to come. It's not going to happen today. The next time you can expect this is on December 12th with Forza Horizon 4, the Series 17 update. You guys will be able to play the 1998 Toyota Supra RZ. Now, you can expect more Toyotas and Lexus in the future, but the first time you're going to see Toyota is on December 12th with the Series 17 update. I am so pleased to welcome John Knowles. John Knowles has been smiling all day about this news because I know you've been looking forward to this.
I could not wait. I don't think anybody saw this coming.
Right.
And judging from the chat stream, it looks like that was a fun reveal too. I mean, we've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Really excited. The car teams have been blowing digital dust off some of these cars and getting them back together again because they have to be brought. They haven't been seen since Forza Horizon 3 or Forza Motorsport 6, I think.
You're right. Yeah.
So they had to come up to speed. They had to support the new weather effects and shaky bits and all that stuff that has been added in the last couple of games. And so, the first one out the gate will be everybody's favorite Supra, and there'll be more to come.
So you're right. There's a lot of work that the fact that we've signed this agreement and we have this news means that for years to come, your guys are going to be enjoying those Toyota cars. It's great news.
Yeah.
But you're right. We've got to get them in shape and get them into the games.
Yeah. Got to polish them up.
So look forward to that in the coming weeks. John Knowles, you're here to talk about Series 16 and Forza Horizon 4.
Series 16 should be live now. 10 a.m. Pacific. It's got a lot of cool new stuff in it. If you tuned into the Playground stream, you saw some of the new cars they got. Heavy Italian theme. We got a couple Ferraris.
I should mention
this beauty behind us.
You saw that Ferrari logo right next to John's shoulder. We got a 488 Pista behind us.
Yes, one of the most requested cars in the history of Forza Horizon 4, if not the franchise all up. On the heels of the Bugatti Divo last month, and maybe there's a couple more highly requested cars in the future.
Who knows?
We'll see.
Who knows? We're going to give you guys a behind-the-scenes look, a sort of special look at the Pista here in the studio with us right now. But we've got it in the game too.
Should we check it out?
Should we go drive it?
All right.
Let's start there. Obviously, this is whenever there's a new Ferrari, it's cause for celebration.
It's a big deal, and this car is super highly requested for good reason. It's a 710, I think, horsepower, twin turbo V8. It's a beast. It's got all new aero. You can see that wicked scoop in the front that comes straight up from the nose of the car. It keeps it planted. All that downforce is going to give us a lot more grip than the normal 488, and it's going to be fast. I think you can get over 200 miles an hour with it, or just around there.
We're in the right place to find out.
Yeah. I think the Playground team are trying to get it up to 200 to see what they can do, but I think Chris kept hitting cars, so we'll see. See if I can.
191 on the highway. Yep, I think we're gonna. Oh, easily.
Look at that.
202.
Nice view. Yeah, there you go. 205, 206. Yep, I think we'll be getting up there.
So obviously.
There you go. Officially north of 210 miles an hour in the 488 Pista, which is also going to. Hey now.
What?
Which is also going to grip. Nice car. So,
but this is a sort of a track car, right?
This is a Pista means track.
Right.
Pista. Yeah. Apparently, in Italian. So it is a track toy. It is built for the racetrack, but it's also wicked on the open roads of Britain.
You know what I always like to do? I always like to look at the cockpit view on a new car like this. Let's take a look inside.
See what we got. Yeah, it's pretty slick. Got an Alcantara on the dash.
Got those Ferrari gauges.
Yes. And Chris talked about a lot of the, the special controls that the driver has at their disposal, which I don't know all of them offhand, but you can make it as drifty as you like. Traction control can be forgiving to let you have fun, and also super stable to get you around the track faster. So, nice car. Glad we could finally get it to you. It's this and the Performante, obviously. Every month for months, you guys have been asking. I wish we could have just said, yeah, we're working on it, but here it is.
Here it is.
The 488 Pista, ready to go.
That's the thing. We always say this.
Sorry.
I'm not sure the general public knows that. Even if we aren't announcing cars to the public, the team is always working on cars.
Yep, always working on cars, and often working on cars that show up in the car wish list in the forums, which you're welcome to check out, but we'll keep chipping away at it. It's
a year-round process for Forza building cars, and some of the cars, very few people in the world know about.
Right. Yeah. You never know. Almost until we drop them on you. Sorry about that, but that's
It's just kind of the way it goes.
But how about that Toyota reveal though? Was that a nice way to just drop a nice surprise on everybody?
Playground knows how to do drama.
Yes.
I like that.
That was pretty cool. One more thing. They pulled a Columbo.
They
got
did.
One more thing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I know chat is kind of blowing up about the Toyota news, and we have other new cars that are here with Series 16. That we can show off.
Take a look at a couple of them. Oh, while we're here, I also wanted to talk. Playground mentioned this in their stream as well, but there's a subtitle update, which is great. It's another step in making the game more accessible for more of our players. So,
Okay.
we've always had the subtitles option. We've got color blindness and high contrast options. Playground have just added a subtitles font size option and subtitles background opacity, and you can preview it here. You can see you can make it go really big.
Okay.
Which is great. If you're gonna go through all the trouble to make subtitles, you want them to be as legible, and it's not just for people who have
So
vision
sorry,
problems.
how do you preview them?
There's
wait,
a
I
little
see
button
it.
right there says
Yep.
preview subtitles. So then you can make the the background fully opaque or fully transparent. It's really giving the players more options and making it more useful than it was before when it was off to the side and small. So that's a great step. It just adds a long list of accessibility features Playground have been adding to the game since launch, and more to come.
Yeah, more to come. It's great news for people who love to use subtitles in the games. I know I'm one of those people, especially in narrative-based games.
Yeah, or when you don't, when you're playing late at night, you don't
Yep.
want to wake everybody in the house up.
Exactly.
It's nice to be able to see what needs to be said.
Well, what do you want to look at next?
Well, let's see. We can go to the car that's on the image behind us, the
Okay.
ATS, which I believe is Automobili Turismo eSport.
Okay.
Is the name of the manufacturer, and it's actually been around since the '60s during the big shakeup at Ferrari, or what they call the Palace Revolution, when a lot of head engineers left Ferrari to start their own manufacturer.
Okay.
And they had a really cool sports coupe back in the '60s, and this is kind of it reimagined. It's super Italian.
Yep, it's got that red.
It's got some big taillights too.
Yeah, it really does.
It's also powered by McLaren, so it's got McLaren drivetrain, and I believe this is another car that might be north of 700 horsepower too. So
What S1, S2 class?
let's take a look.
S1.
Yeah,
This is stock.
near the top of S1 stock.
Yep.
But pretty slick.
And there's the interior of that as well.
So this one will be fun to tear up, and I believe this is also another car that's north of 200 miles an hour. So,
How are you? You just drove the Pista. You're in the the ATS GT
Yeah.
now. Any initial thoughts on how they compare?
I haven't put enough time in it. I think that Pista is going to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Try not to bang this up too much.
Doesn't have a big wing. The GT here doesn't have. It's
got a
got
little
sort of the
active aero.
retractable wing.
It's got a little active aero, but pretty slick looking car. And another classic I can talk about
Yep.
is the Lamborghini Diablo GTR. So a race car from 1999. Really beastly car here. We'll look it up.
This
And
is the Diablo.
yeah,
Is that right?
yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There it goes. Yeah. So this one will get you close to 220 miles an hour, I believe.
Okay.
It's fast, and it's got slicks on it, so watch out in the rain. And
Look at that yellow.
so that's called Superfly yellow.
Superfly yellow.
Superfly yellow. That's what Lamborghini calls this shade of yellow. Yes, and it looks pretty darn good on this.
One of these would fit right at home in our upcoming weekend of Forza RC action that is going to be
Seriously.
presented to you by Lamborghini. But
A nice big
this thing
wing
looks
to
pretty
keep it
beastly.
planted too. Yeah. So this is another fun car that's going to be great to rip around and see how fast you can get going. Well, we're on Princess Street. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. Now, all these cars will be available, I assume, in the festival playlist.
Yeah, starting Thursday. Look out! Starting
out.
Thursday, I believe the Pista is your reward for completing the trial, and I think the rest of these are all based on getting 50% complete per season.
I see.
As the month goes on, and then when Series 17 comes around in December, like I said, Toyota will be showing up there. I think that one's just going to show up for everybody to buy in the garage.
Okay.
In the auto show, so no sweat about that one.
Yeah, and then we'll have more to come on Toyota and other manufacturers, I suppose, in the future.
Yes, sir.
More cars coming. That's awesome.
Oh, and there's also an update that Playground touched on as well, of particular interest to those of you who like to compete in rivals and online adventure. Yes, Playground has heard your call to blacklist.
Ooh.
The Bone Shaker and the Tractor are the first two cars that are going to be restricted from certain classes and certain activities. So that should shake up the competition scene in rivals a lot, where those cars were tuned to be really fun.
Yep.
Because in real life they're probably really difficult to drive. I think the reason the Bone Shaker is called the Bone Shaker is because it doesn't really allow.
It does exactly what it says it does.
But in this game, we tuned it to be fun, and in that case, it actually ended up being overpowered.
Yeah.
Same thing with the tractor, like ridiculously overpowered. So that's really great. I hope that the community's been asking for do something about these two cars for a long time, and we'll keep our eyes open, see if there needs to be any more, if there's any more that stand out. But that'll be a nice start. So
it's similar to, we've done similar things in Forza Motorsport games.
Yeah, I don't know that we've ever done it in Horizon.
Yeah, you're right, but it is something that comes from player feedback.
Yes,
right? We listen to what the players are saying about the online experience, and Playground is doing the exact same thing.
Yep. Listening to the community and doing what we can to make you guys happy. So.
Well, there you go. So in addition to these three cars, we also have one additional Ferrari,
yes,
I believe.
1970 Ferrari 512.
Should we jump in that real quick?
Yeah, check it out real quick.
Let's go check it out.
This was built to compete after the 4GTs kind of left the scene in the 60s after
There she is.
dominating in the late 60s at Le Mans. Ferrari kind of went back to the drawing board after the P3 and created the 512S, which is 5-liter V12, and it was meant to go toe-to-toe with the venerable 917 Porsche. And it actually did a really good job of keeping up with it.
This is giving me Ford versus Ferrari vibes big time.
Yeah. I mean, this is after that movie, but yes, it is definitely a car that you can imagine. I think you're going mid 200 mile an hour when you get up to Le Mans, the old straight, Mulsanne straight. But it's going to be fast. It's going to be fun to drive.
And there's going to be some good-looking liveries for this car.
Yeah, and I'd like to see some great, retro photo contests between this and the 917. And look out, that's not what this car's made for. But yeah, so those are the 4 new cars. And again, super excited to be welcoming Toyota back into Forza.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to show that off next month.
It's great news.
I'll just hang out here at my house.
Yeah, just hang out at Thatch Corner, one of my favorite spots on the map. Well, John Knowles, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Series 16 will be here, but it should already be here for Forza Horizon 4 players. If you haven't downloaded it, you can grab it now or very soon, and you'll be able to check out all these cars and all the rest of the cool stuff happening with Series 16. So we are going to move over to our next segment, which is all about Forza RC. As I mentioned at the top of the show, the 2019 series is coming to an end with the finals this weekend. We will be right back with Mellish and Ali Tak to talk all about that. But first, check this out.
The Forza RC 2019 season has been incredible. It's Williams Mitch who's going to take the win here and followed across the line by his teammate Williams RR. We're on board with Sauber Dave, and right up the inside, he's going to sluice past 2. Lage is in second right now, but not for long. He's going to have to serve a stop-and-go penalty for contact on lap 1 with Joe Tabokin. And that's Hydra into the wall. Disaster for the young man from RDE. Racerz goes defensive into the bus stop chicane. Rich tries to struggle it round the outside. He's only going to have one more opportunity, one more lap to get that win. 18th, $250,000 on the line. Who will rank supreme? Tune in to find out. The Forza Racing Championship Finals partnered with Lamborghini. Watch it live on the 23rd and 24th.
We are days away, guys. We are just a few days away here on the Forza channel from the finals of the 2019 Invitational Series for the Forza RC. I am so pleased to be joined by my friends Ali Tak and Mellish to break it down for you. Ali, we're here. We're just about to head down to LA. We're heading down tomorrow.
We're heading there any day now. It's coming towards its big epic conclusion in the series. It's been really exciting so far, and great to see all the drivers out there on track. Lots and lots of exciting racing. I can't wait.
I know, and we've been on the journey. You've been there the whole time. But me and Brian, we've shared some experiences on the desk, and it's been what a journey it's been so far.
It's been thrilling so far. I want to start with you, Mellish, and talk to you about this team format that is really shaking things up this entire season. We've been talking about it amongst ourselves throughout the season, but from your point of view, what has teams done for Forza RC?
I think it's brought a lot of new characters, new individuals as well. We talk about the team championship, but it's brought a lot of personalities out from the drivers and stuff. But it's also bringing out people we wouldn't normally see in an individual championship as well. I have to be honest about that. But it's been refreshing as well. Showing like new teams to Forza itself, like RDE coming into the championship and performing really well. But it's been nice and refreshing to see that.
I wonder from your perspective, Ali, being on the desk with Shea Adam, calling these races, it's a different experience from calling a bunch of individual drivers this year.
Man.
How does it feel calling team racing?
I feel so lucky to be calling it with Shea. She's such an expert. She's been doing team racing, endurance racing for such a long time. And yeah, it's been awesome to have her help guide through this change because it's completely different, as you say, from individual racing. The drivers team up now on track. They do stuff together and they work to, as a team, get the most points. In a sense, you can not win the race and still get the most points as a team.
Yeah, it adds more aspects to the racing rather than just coming first. 20 points is fine, but you know, if you can finish 2 people in the top 10 or top 6 finishing, then it's great for your team as well.
And I have to mention that, you know, we talk about the prep these teams do before the races begin. From our perspective, I know you and Flip Mode, our co-analyst here on the Forza RC analyst desk, you guys put a lot of work trying to understand those builds before the week begins, right?
Yeah, like, you know, they put, we're going to cover it a little bit later on how much time they put into it, but we definitely put a lot of time into it as well, having to build the cars that they build and trying to understand why they built them the way they have. And there's a lot of complex, well, some of them are really complex builds. You think, why have you even done this? But then you're like, oh, it's just one corner, it's one curb he's tried to avoid. That's why he's put springs in it, or whatever it is. It may be. And it's just so interesting to see like the minds, the masterminds behind every team. Because it's always different. It's always different.
Well, let's take a look at the bracket this weekend, Ali, and maybe you can pick a team or two that you want to talk that you're excited about going into the weekend here.
Yeah, so this is our semi-final brackets. We're going to have 2 races, and the top 2 teams from each race are going to qualify forward to the grand final. That first race with Williams, Jota, Sauber, and THR, for me, it's that battle between Jota and Sauber. It's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, you've been saying this, Jota and Sauber. I honestly believe that one mistake from any of the top 3 teams will dictate a change in the results. You have to say that, you know, Williams are looking good and strong. They're going out into the semi-finals ranked number 1 seed provisionally.
Right.
Like, well, actually, no, they are the number 1.
They are number 1.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I think that Sauber could really upset that, and so could Jota. But I can't write off THR. They're there as well, and they deserve to be there.
And then we have match 2, which has the likes of Lazarus, it has Red Bull. Now, Red Bull is not at the top of the table, which we might have thought they would have been at the beginning of the year, because they had replacement drivers. Lage was out for a few weeks. The coach Asics came in and took over. But guys, Ali, the Lage is back.
Yep.
So the number 3 seed might actually be the number 1 seed when you think about it.
I mean, it's going to make a big difference, of course, having Lage. He's the 2018 Forza Racing Champion. He's the fastest driver in the game, most likely, when you think realistically about the speed of individuals. But yeah, Red Bull as a team haven't managed to get that top seed we all expected them to get. And there is a hope in the final, or there's a chance, I should say, that they won't completely dominate. So it's going to be interesting.
Lazarus and Red Bull.
And talking about replacements as well, we should talk about, you know, Solar King coming in for FRF. He's been their coach for the entire season so far. He's going to be coming into race, and I think TX3 Wesley's not going to be there either, and he'll be replaced by Papai, who is also their coach. So 2 coaches coming in for the second bracket, which is really important to know as well.
We've seen some coaches come in throughout the season, and in some cases, Asics did an admirable job for the Red Bull team. In some cases, we've seen some coaches struggle as well. How do you feel, Mellish, these coaches are going to do for their respective teams?
I never think a semi-final and final is ever a good spot to ever replace your drivers that have been there, especially TX3. Wesley's been a dominant force for TX3. He's been such an improvement to watch him since last year as well. Bit of a wild child last year, but he's grown a lot on the track, maturity-wise as well. So it's kind of unfortunate he's not going to be there. But Solar King has all the experience as well as his teammates. So I don't think he's going to have a problem there.
You think he'll be good? Okay. Yeah. Well, one of the things we did this past week as we look ahead towards the finals coming up is Ali actually picked top 10 moments from the 2019 season. We thought we'd share those with you, some of our favorite moments from the 2019 regular season, going into a weekend full of incredible moments, I'm sure. But let's start with the number 10 moment. Take a look.
Well, these are all fast drivers. They all know what they're doing with these cars. And Charlie, are you saying that maybe Commando is that's a way of applying pressure, a few taps to let him know he's there?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Just letting that driver know, yeah, I'm still here, by the way. Look, there we go.
One. Wow, a little bit rough there from Commando, who may well give that back. He does. Mellish already commented from the analyst desk about Commando's racecraft. He is somebody who doesn't want to make the move happen in the wrong way. We'll try it around the outside of the carousel, though, nonetheless. And that's gutsy. Commando now getting into the side of Chris, and that's a big spin as the two of them head out of the carousel. Hard to know how that happened. The two cars were on the
Commando and Rise getting into each other there. Now, I have to say, guys, Commando has had an amazing year this year. In previous Forza RC seasons, he's been subject to bad luck and just bad circumstances. He's had a great year, but Ali, this is a moment where that old Commando luck sort of stuck out again.
It's just what could have been. That move around the outside of the carousel, you don't see it every day. So exciting. You can see how fast Commando was feeling and how punchy to try that move out. Didn't work out, still squeaks into the top 10 for me at least. Yeah, that was a cool move.
Yeah, I think it kind of, he put all the PI into that Porsche to set the story. He went against the grain from some of the other drivers. It was a battle against the sailing. He had the pace car, didn't have the race car, which is why he was battling there. And I kind of feel like the end result didn't reciprocate how well he managed to get round the outside of the carousel. So I feel bad for him, feel bad, man. But I mean, it was great to just watch that piece.
Pace car versus race car. I love that. That's great. So let's take a look at the number 9 moment from the regular season.
Onto the backstretch, it allows you to carry much more speed. He's going to have the inside as he dives down the inside. Got on the brakes a little bit too soon, and Box manages to hold on for the moment at least.
There's going to be some contact here, and Zoom runs Box out of road there. Very rude indeed from the Sauber driver, sneaking up the inside and pushing all the way wide.
We're used to Forza RC drivers and hypercars and supercars, but Mellish, we put these guys in classic muscle and watch the chaos ensue.
I think this week was a fan favorite. You're talking like 3,000 pounds plus of weight in each car, and like way out of date braking systems as well. It was good to watch, but that move there really solidified Sauber in this kind of championship.
That's right. It's that sort of leaf spring suspension or whatever that you have for those cars. It all looked like a sort of slow speed incident in a way, but it was a very skillful move there.
I have to say the turn ones for those were surprisingly clean. I think I expected more chaos in the muscle cars, but these guys are the best in the world. They can drive anything. Let's take a look at the number 8 moment.
Finally, it's making sense. Venom right now, though. He is so aggressive, trying to get to the lead of the race. He's been the support role for way too long. And there is going to be a penalty issued for Lightning for that contact with Lage as we ride on board Venom. Strowing the nose. No, you don't go too wide through the S's. Guys, what are you?
Wow, look at that move, Venom. Get out of town. That was awesome. Venom, so much guts. And Hurricane can't believe it. Slips off the track and gets bullied. These drivers will bully you if you are offline.
You never go too wide of the IR unless you're in the Forza RC and you're in prototypes. Right, guys?
Man, that was nuts. Again, it was one of those ones that is kind of what could have been for Hurricane. He slipped off the track, but Venom, man.
I honestly feel like Venom had an earpiece in listening to the live stream, and like Shay's like, no, don't do that. He's like, no, I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to do it. And it just he nailed it. And obviously Hurricane went off the track, and there was a little bit of a collision, but that was a great job from Venom because you don't go too wide up the snake. You just
It's so narrow there. So much guts. Amazing job. I hope we see more of that from Venom this weekend. All right, let's take a look at the next clip.
As Roadrunner reminds Force One, hey, I'm behind you, I'm right here, and I would just love to win this race.
Yep, you don't really need to win a race. I mean, I've won the first two. Let me just keep it going. I know what to do. It's okay. I'll handle the responsibility. It's all good. I think that's what's going on between the two. As Roadrunner looks down the inside for the right-hand corner. This could work. Force One not giving it up, and they turn back to the left, so this will be Force One's advantage. But if he can stay there, Roadrunner does have a right turn coming up now. Tight apex corner, and then another right coming onto the front straight. Force One will have the momentum on his side. Oh, it's going to be a drag race, Allie.
Wow, we've been seeing these two get close to that last sector every single lap, and Roadrunner, with surely his best opportunity yet, doesn't quite manage to make it stick on lap 7 of 9. He's going to have to file back in, I think, as we turn left into Dunlop. Tries to insist it round the outside, goes for the undercut after that.
You know, the thing that sticks out to me on this clip is these guys are nose to tail, side by side on a track like Le Mans, and they're just racing with so much respect. You can tell these guys respect each other on the track.
I mean, what was cool about that battle as well was how long it went on for.
Yeah.
We cut a bit for the highlights. You know, we got
Could've
like
gone a lot
a few
longer.
corners of it, but every lap they were at it and just at it. Really cool. As you say, though, the respect between those two is awesome.
Yeah, it was like you're saying, the length of it. It was like Forza ASMR. I was relaxed. It was like great to begin with. It was like, this is cool just to watch. It felt like they were racing together. They were communicating with each other. Obviously, they weren't in separate parties.
Yeah.
But it was good to see two at the top of their game going like head to head in the same car in exactly the same build.
And who knows, that could be a preview of Sunday's races. We could see Williams Lazarus, who knows. Let's take a look at the number 6 clip now.
With RZM Chris, the driver we were just talking about, a great hard charger and a big lunge round the outside into turn 1, all the way alongside with RDE Cami, who started this race in 7th and is already under pressure, under flak from RZM Chris for that position round the outside of turn 2. I love that move, Shay. That is classy as anything.
Chris, how did you do that? Around the outside, going through the S's? That's not a pass that we often see being made.
Doesn't matter what you put on Watkins Glen, it's always going to be fantastic racing. But Mellish, this was last chance qualifier. This was a high stakes in every one of these races.
This was the build-up moment before, obviously, the unfortunate disconnect of Chris's teammate. Chris was on fire. He made great, numerous overtakes in that race. The one that I remember was the one against Europa. They were battling with THR for the top spot in the last chance qualifiers. But that really was a great example there, around the outside of the first corner, where he's not got as much camber as the inside as Cami has, but manages to make it stick and have all the momentum as well.
Fantastic stuff. Well, we've done 5. We've got the top 5 moments from the regular season now. Let's check out number 5.
To the south, maybe looking out toward the aquarium, over the hood of RDE Chasmo's muscle car that he's been trying to pass for a few corners now. A couple of taps there on the exit to the straight. And, well, I love to see sparks flying in the Forza Racing Championship, but surely there's space for 2 cars there. Chasmo, if you just leave a little bit more of a gap.
No.
Chasmo and South, though, will go wheel to wheel, toe to toe, once again through the first sector, and South up the inside. He's going to have the inside line here into the next corner, and I feel like he's going to make this move stick. Finally, he doesn't.
No.
Wow, Shay, what can South do here to get by?
Cars should not be side by side through that portion of the track. That should not happen. I mean, we've seen it before, but it should not happen. They're still side by side coming out and next to the shopping mall off to your left, where we do have Thunder Thursday. Bring out the race cars, put them on display, finally gets the pass done before coming onto the straight. But no, once again, they're door handle to door handle. Did somebody put magnets in these sides of these cars? This is ridiculous driving.
This has been one of the finest battles we've seen in the Forza Racing Championship Invitational Series so far. All these teams fighting their way towards a grand final where a prize pool of $250,000 will be on the line. Chasmo on the outside now. South covers the line and will take 7th place. He's going to make it look like the battle for the lead, though. I can't believe these two are in the mid-pack the way they're fighting.
I don't know how that's not number 1, because we were sitting here laughing that entire clip. Chasmo side by side with his opponent there on Long Beach, where there is no room for error.
It's such a difficult track. We've got concrete walls on every side. Long Beach is so, as you say, there's no room for error out there. One of the things I noticed going back through these clips was just how classy Chasmo is wheel to wheel.
Yeah.
That guy is so clean. I think there's another clip with him later on, and we'll check that out. But it just knocks me out how good he is as a wheel-to-wheel driver.
Yeah, and to emulate that turn 6 cutback that he did, like I feel like, yeah, great job South for making it work. But actually, Chasmo, well done for that. That was like the overtake for me there. That was really good from both drivers.
Well, you're telling me they're going to get better, because we're about to check out number 4. Let's check it out.
Let's keep in mind, though, Chasmo, the car that Williams Roadrunner is all over, started in 11th, so even slipping back to 9th, it's been a strong run from Chasmo. He's not going to let it go easily, though. That's not his style, not the way he does things. And the RDE youngster going side by side now, up toward the start of the mountain, and heavy on the brakes, trail braking across Roadrunner's nose there, and no quarter given. Shay, you were looking shocked and appalled.
Different cars, different location, but still the same old Chasmo. This guy's making it happen.
Yeah, no, he made that happen. And what for me there in that clip was, it kind of had like a flashback of when we was in Mexico City with the David Skills, like the whole David Skills moment. I was like, oh no. And then I watched it, like, what a great move, side by side up the cutting. It's really tight there. You talk about Long Beach really narrow. That is narrow, and they both managed to maneuver around. Great job from Roadrunner.
Great job from everybody on Bathurst. It's tough to race there under any conditions. Let's go to the number 3 clip.
To 11th, you can see there on the ticker 2 MGC names lined up ahead of Davy Skills. Lightning holds the lead of this race and Sauber Chemical in second, but it's MGC Mango Shay who's managed to do it again and hold on to that podium through the start of this race.
Position, holding down the fort for his team.
I'll tip the cap to Dave. That was a classy move
Very.
Between the 2 other drivers.
Just the idea of having Davy Skills in my rearview mirror is enough to intimidate me, but great driving all around there. Amazing
Yeah,
stuff.
split the pair. Split the pair of the MGC. I mean, it was kind of cut, and that's your fault. you actually you cut that out a little bit too early. I wanted to see them go into the Degnos like with him in front, but we got a glimpse of it, and that was a great job from Davey.
It was so patient from Davey there. He was just looking for that gap, watching the 2 red MGC touring cars, and just waiting for a moment. He saw it, put the throttle down, straight through between the 2 of them, beautiful, like a nutmeg.
It's funny that you use the word patience there, because patience isn't something you often have in a Forza RC race. They're relatively short races. You got to make things happen, especially when you're starting in the back. And we saw some masterclasses from Davey this season. 2 more left. Let's take a look at the number 2 moment from the 2019 regular season.
Some very daring driving there from Jay Rich, who we're on board with. One of the drivers who we know doesn't have those strong race brakes, and I'm just on the edge of my seat as we exit the corner. Mango with a big spin and 2 cars on the outside. That's Hydra and Handicap both off the track on the exit to Canada corner, and all change at the front of this race then, Shay, with 2 of our drivers.
If you would have asked me that the number 2 clip was a Mordor Game Club driver, I would have been doubtful. But that was an amazing move.
1 corner, 11th up to 4th place. Like it was like a winning lottery ticket in the Forza RC for Jay Rich. He just found a line. He just found that line.
It was biblical. It was biblical. It was like a parable. You know what I mean? The sea opened for him. It just sailed through. Like it was great to watch.
It's great stuff. All right, the number 1 moment from the regular season. Let's check it out right now.
Drivers, Lightning especially, who seems to be driving with nothing to lose. Box goes defensive on the run into T17. Lightning with the over-under up the inside and pushes that move for the lead. Will take it. Box demoted to 2nd place, and LZR Racerz will be salivating because the drivers ahead of him are starting to move. They're starting to come back towards him. They need those points. They need it for the championship, and Box wants it up the inside in the first sector. Racerz will have the run here, though, as we head down toward that first hairpin. It's a touch. Box getting a little squirrely, and Racerz will not give up track position. Side by side, down toward the hairpin, and Racerz wants that position from Box. I think he's going to get it here as he rolls off the brakes, leans onto the Red Bull Acura, and still the 2 are side by side. Shay, these 2 aren't letting me breathe.
No, and given the direction of the track, this is going to be advantage for Racerz. Assuming he can hold on to that position, he'll have less of a good line out of tower turn, but he does get the
Bunch of familiar names there. Lightning, Box, Racerz. What incredible action at Sebring there.
It's what the Forza RC is all about, right? Seeing people like those 3 battle it out. Very, very close racing. Had to be our number 1.
And they're all in the group too. Like they're going to have to do it all over again. That's what it is. Like, you did it once. No, can you just do that again for me, please? Because I didn't get it the first time. It was really good racing. For me, though, great job for Lightning to make it up the inside of the last corner. But what a great job that Racerz did, because he was playing devil's box, was closing him into that tire wall. It looked like it was game over, but he managed to just stick it there.
He kept his position. You know?
He did, yeah.
That's strong driving. In fact, we're going to be talking with Racerz in just a bit via Skype. But before we do that, you guys sent in. By the way, thank you so much. Those clips were amazing. Well done. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Well done, Ali. You guys sent us amazing questions ahead of the Forza RC finals. So we've got Ali and Mellish here. Let's answer some questions that you guys sent in. Thank you so much for being that. Let's start with you, Mellish, AMS Storm, an AMS competitor.
Yes.
From the team has this question. Has the team aspect of this year's competition lived up to your expectations? And do you see a potential future for the Forza RC opening up to a team-based qualifying system in the future? Let's start with the first part of that.
Yeah, it's quite a few questions.
Yeah. The team-based aspect, has it lived up to your expectations?
Absolutely. You know, great job for them to put it on. Breaking barriers, because Forza RC has always been, you know, individual basis up until this point. And I feel like from a ground level, the mechanics work really well. It invites a lot more exciting racing rather than single cars and everyone having the same powers, the same attributes of a car. And it's, for me, I like to see entertainment. I'm American in that way. I like a great spectator sport, and this is what this provided. And it also provided a lot of like well, it sounds stupid, but the teamwork aspect of it. You know, what do each player in the team, each driver and a coach has to bring something different, or all the same thing. So like what we're seeing with Sauber is they bring that experience. You've got Zermatt making the builds. You've got Davey who's got like a full-time job, mortgage, and then he comes on and practices. They work together. They work to kind of fill each other's voids, which was really interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, picking up from that, it's definitely exceeded my expectations in the sense that drivers are inhabiting roles out there on track. They're picking up very defined ways of racing and defined ways of getting points by taking the resources that the team has. So it's been really interesting, really deep. This
and also on top of that as well, in the social media side of things, since this has all been going on, and I don't know whether it's related or not, we've seen Ferrari express interest in esports, we've seen Ford come into the Forza esports, like, we're seeing teams that haven't been here previously, and now they're coming into it. It's gauging interest with big competitors.
Don't forget, Lamborghini is our partner for the finals.
Exactly.
So amazing stuff there. So thank you for that question, AMS Storm. As for the future of Forza RC, stay tuned. We'll have more announcements in the future, but thank you for that question. A great question. Let's move on to the next one. Ali, this one's going to be for you. Are you sufficiently girded?
I'm ready to go. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Excellent. Ali, Brad JH28 asks, are you surprised by the standings going into the finals, or did they play out how you expected them to?
Thanks, Brad. Good question. Am I surprised by the standings going into the finals? I am surprised by a few different bits in the standings. Especially, I was surprised to see Lazarus at the last minute move up to second place, taking Red Bull off of that in the final round. That was one of the big surprise moments for me. Williams, I'm less surprised by at the top. I will say,
Okay.
I think they're a team that were put together to win, and I think they're doing a really good job of that. So Lazarus doing a strong performance. I think there are other surprises towards the back, maybe people like FRF.
Yeah, I was actually going to pick up on FRF. I think FRF do have a lot of weight riding on their shoulders because they are ultimately all from the South America. They're the LATAM team, even though Zoom runs for Sauber, it's still the LATAM team, and they made it through. And going into the season, they were pipped as underdogs. They had a lot of support, but they made it work on track. They've got the skill there. And what's really interesting about the FRF team is they all work together. Even though it's a team of 3 and a coach, when they're all practicing and stuff, there's like 11 of them in an invite-only party. They're just, they're just like ripping up paper, blackboards and stuff, and they work together as a team. So a great team spirit there for FRF.
Well, it actually kind of leads into the next question that I think I might know Melish's answer here, but let's ask it anyway because JSR John sent us a great question. He asks, which of the teams, I'll lead with you, Melish, which of the teams do you think rose the most above expectations? Would that be FRF for you?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't want to sound boring by saying it. And it's not planned, but yeah, FRF definitely exceeded expectations. Also, I would say THR in the last chance qualifier. I felt that Rise were on the rise, excuse the pun. They were doing really well in the last chance qualifier. Obviously, bad luck kind of like dictate what happened in that race. But I kind of feel like either of them could have taken it in that last. If everything went to plan, Rise could have taken that spot from THR quite easily. So I feel like THR kind of like a surprise team there.
To add one more team that exceeded my expectations is MGC. Didn't qualify for the finals in the end, but actually some of the performances those guys put up knocked me out. Mango, I remember there's one race around Hockenheim where Mango got like 5th place, which was just way beyond what I expected was possible from that team. So really a great showing.
And getting down and dirty at Brands Hatch. You remember that? Yeah. So yeah, I'm actually with you on this. MGC definitely picked as the underdogs for the championship, but they had some great performances.
Good job, MGC. Let's see. We talked about teams. Now, SVR Solo wants to ask about standout performers for each team. Do you guys have standout individual drivers from certain teams? Mitch.
Mitch and Seven, actually. Two individual performances for 2 very different reasons. Mitch from the front. He can, like most of it, like he was the one that got a lot of overtakes, starting in the back, and he kind of played that hard charger award. That's what they had it. That was his role in Williams, and he made it stick, he made it work, especially at Catalunya, going from like 9th to 1st in 1 lap. And then you got Seven, bare bones, giving nothing, and manages to climb back at 1,800 feet in a race. That's like way out of bounds for a lot of drivers in this FRC, but he made it work, and that's congratulations to him.
I couldn't get past like specific performers without talking about Hydra. He's just been someone, like a story I've loved seeing throughout the series. If one person, if everyone else chooses one thing, Hydra will find a way to go with an alternative strategy. And it was just great to watch because he got in there and just mixed everything up. I think alongside Hydra, I've got to shout out FRF Bull, who for me started the season as a bit of maybe he seemed like a sort of bit of an album song, if you like, like the gap filler in the team, but actually came up and shined. He's track 8, yeah. But he came out and shined, and good for him.
And also THR Rich, I have to say, because originally, you know, you look at their lineup, Virus, you know, was a star performer. He wasn't able to attend in the first race. They gave all the points to Europa. He didn't deliver. You think, well, what are you going to do? So they give it to Rich, and they stuck with Rich after that because he was the one that was putting in the most practice, the most laps, and he performed for THR. He is one of the main reasons why they're in this semi-finals.
Lots of standout performances, and they're going to need even more standout performances from these guys because the finals are right around the corner. We've got one more question from our friend THR Flip Mode, who asks each of us, which model Lamborghini is your favorite? As you know, Lamborghini is our partner. It's the finals presented by Lamborghini. So, guys.
I'll go first because I know he's going I know he's going to steal mine.
I've got one.
No, mine's a Countach.
Countach.
Yeah, it's, you know, you think of Lamborghini, you think supercar. You don't think of daily driver, you think of it comes out the garage once a year, maybe. And for me, it was a Countach because it's just got that retro design. I'm a massive retro fan. Squares, angles, you name it. It's got 4 windows per side, only one opens like halfway. It's completely impractical, but it's a beauty, and that's why I love the Countach.
The Miura. So we're both going to go for older ones. The Miura is one of my favorites just purely for the reason it has eyelashes. It's just the sweetest car.
It takes on a human character.
I can't stand it.
That is eyelashes, are you?
I was actually going to pick the Miura myself. It's you know, forget the Sistine Chapel. This is the highest form of Italian art, the Miura. It's amazing. So great. Thank you for all those amazing questions. Appreciate that. I hope you guys enjoy the upcoming Forza RC. One of the drivers you're going to be watching is Racerz from the Lazarus team. We talked about him earlier, and we are so pleased to have Racerz with us live now. We're going to bring him up and chat with Racerz, who is in LA right now. Racerz, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Fantastic. We can hear you loud and clear as well. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you all?
We're doing great. Yeah, we're doing great. We can't wait to come down and join you down there. You're in LA right now, right?
Yeah, so me and the team have rented out an Airbnb, and we're using it for practice and also just to acclimatize ourselves to this beautiful location of the time zone and everything that comes with it, because, you know, it probably helps. It probably helps.
How long have you been in town?
Yeah, we've been here for like a day or two, not very long at all. But, you know, it's just any extra time just because obviously being from the UK, there's like a huge difference in time. So anything to just gain a little bit more comfort while we're competing is really advantageous. So it's great.
I feel like we're in the sort of the post-race paddock here. I've got like Diablo with a dictaphone sitting just outside of the shot. How's it been living with all your teammates?
Yeah, it's been very good. You do actually have both my coaches at the moment recording what I'm saying, so you're not even wrong. You can't see it, but just over there.
I've got to ask you, Racerz, what is it about team competitions specifically that suits you so well? You won the 2018 team competition at Seattle. You come back here in 2019, team competition again, and a storm in it.
Yeah, I think the thing is that beforehand in the FRC, it was just raw pace. It was if you had the raw pace, you'd do so well. And I think now there's more dynamics to that. It's like you have raw pace, but you also have strategy, building. There's so many new things and like where you grid your drivers in a team, and just overall teamwork now has such a huge impact on the like result that you can have. And I feel that that's just being reflected in like results. I feel like whilst raw pace isn't necessarily bad, I feel like we as a team, Lazarus, excel in other areas of the game as well. And that's now coming and shining through, which is really exciting to see.
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, Racerz, I've got to talk to you a little bit more about you coming to LA early. I know that Red Bull Racing did the same thing. They kind of are gearing up and kind of like testing the waters, getting used to the time zone changes and practicing a lot. Like, realistically, be honest with us, how much time have you spent practicing and how much time have you been spending catching LA Rays?
On the beach.
Yeah, Venice Beach. How has it been for you guys?
Yeah, it's been really, really nice and relaxing, and I've really enjoyed the sights, and I've definitely done a lot of practice as well. But yeah, I've done plenty. And then I haven't. Well, I may have seen many sites, but I've also practiced. May I reiterate? But yeah, it's been good. But like genuinely though, coming here early, as I said, just getting used to it and all the differences, it just really helps you kind of relax instead of just going straight into it and then straight into the tournament and then that be that. So I think that's why you might see Red Bull and us coming a bit early, because it does genuinely help. So yeah.
That's good, man. I mean, he's catching some tan there. He's catching the tan.
Hey, I'm curious if you go back, racers, to the beginning of the season and you guys didn't have maybe your greatest week in the first week. What did you learn that week, and how did you adapt for the rest of the season? What were you talking about after maybe not having your best result in your first match?
Yeah, I think the first week, like I've been putting stuff on YouTube as well, and I really go into a lot of detail. But I feel that the first week was we didn't know. It was a complete unknown, and so we really had to take a stab at the strategy, at what we thought logically might make sense. But what we've learned are that there are some strategies, like what we've seen with the alpha build strategy, that really like excels. And basically, we've now kind of formed our tournament since then, and we've learned from that first week. And we're now adjusting our strategies with reference to what we learned in that first week. So, yeah, so whilst the first week was difficult, I feel like we were able to really well. I mean, as you could see by where we were in the standings across the season, it was like by the end of it, we'd worked it out really. And can't wait to take that into this LAN, because I'm pretty sure the same sort of thing will apply. So very exciting.
Well, you've also been doing you've been keeping us up to date with your season on your YouTube channel. What's that experience been like? Have you learned anything about your own driving as you've been watching yourself do these and putting together these videos?
Yeah, I've learned a huge amount. You like just reflecting back on things that happened like throughout the races, and really taking a step back and trying to disconnect yourself from the moment. It's been really interesting, and it actually kind of links on to when you're with your team, for example, in LA, and you watch your teammates drive. It's so weird how you notice the differences between what myself and what my teammates do, and you really learn a lot from just watching them and trying to take some bits that they do and adapting them to what you do yourself, you know. And so there's stuff to learn there, and I feel like just that whole team atmosphere of reflecting, and also like watching my own stuff back is great, but then also other drivers as well like can help massively. So it's all part of the LAN experience really.
To pick up on something we spoke about a little bit earlier, which is roles within each of the teams, how would you self-define, Racers, what your role is within the Lazarus team?
To be honest, I don't think you can put a single role on any one of us drivers in the team. I think that's kind of one of our strengths, actually. I feel like a lot of teams, you will look at a driver in whatever organization that they represent, and you will have a very good idea of what their role is throughout a race. But I feel like with myself, Force One, and Rossi, I like to think that we're probably some of the most varied in skill. Like we have some of the most varied skills of drivers throughout the grid, and that enables us to really adapt what roles we think are best, not to us, but like the cars that we are driving. So instead of getting worked up about who deserves to be where or whatever like that, it's just we look at the cars, think about who's best, and then we know that we have the abilities within the team to really make the most of the opportunities that we have. So yeah, I don't think that there's a single role that we can really put on myself or anyone else in Lazarus, but we really just try and strategize in the most appropriate way when it comes to it, really.
And is that the process of trying out the cars and seeing who's fast where and how fast you are? Is that process happening right now, or is that something you've already done?
That happened a long time ago. Yeah, it really did. No, with practice and everything, it's good to decide early and really try and, you know, luckily it doesn't take too long. Usually it's quite obvious who's comfortable where and who's enjoying what car, for example. And so really we just make that decision and then smack out the practice as fast as possible and really try and adapt the builds to how we like to drive them and whatever. So it works really well.
All right, well, we got one more question for you, Racers. What does the rest of the week look like for you? How are you preparing for the weekend?
Yeah, so the rest of the week, I mean, I've got another bit of exploring before the actual LAN kicks off. So Wednesday is like the official start when every driver is going to start flying into Los Angeles. I think you guys are coming out very shortly too, tomorrow perhaps. But when that all kicks off, I'll be on the itinerary with everyone else and doing what everyone else is doing. But until then, you know, it's just more sightseeing really, and trying to just relax and get in the right mind frame. And then obviously everything kicks off with like media stuff and all the racing and practice and preparation and whatever. It's going to be manic, I tell you that, but it will be good fun and well worth it.
Good fun. It's going to be a lot of work. Look forward to it. Good luck. Thank you so much for being with us, Tobin. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you. See you then.
All right. Thank you so much to Racers and the Lazarus team for being available for us. Can't wait for that. Can't wait to see Lazarus in action this weekend as well. Hey, listen, we're going to be right back with more with Mellish and Ali in just a moment. We've got a special competition coming up. I can't wait for this. In the meantime, Ali's clapping like this, like a seal. In the meantime, we've got some... in the meantime, we have a beautiful 488 Pista right behind us from Ferrari. You guys got to check this out. Take a look. All right, we are busy setting up this new contest that we're going to do live here on the air, here on Forza Monthly. But before we do that, you guys might have seen the fact that Hoonigan has released the latest Climbkana. It's Climbkana 2, Tianmen Mountain with Ken Block doing his thing on this amazing mountain in China, 99 turns. It's incredible. If you haven't seen it, check out the Hoonigan YouTube page and watch it for yourself. It's 8 minutes of insanity. We were lucky enough to have some behind-the-scenes shots from the shoot, from Climbkana 2, Tianmen Mountain. You guys can see it here. Mellish, this is Ken Block doing his thing in the Hoona truck in one of the most incredible settings I've ever seen.
Yeah, if you watch the video footage, we were looking at it. It's like a little panda on one of those, like, what are they called, those scooters? And
like a scooter.
The pandy caps, you know, just, you know. We thought he was setting a lap time, but he actually wasn't. He was just exhibition. It's great skill.
But this road is unlike anything I've ever seen. I mean, it's just so narrow and it feels like it's super ancient.
One mistake and you're off,
yes,
right?
And you're off. And you go all the way down.
There's no like pit stop in the middle. Like you roll and you keep rolling. I mean, like that guy's got some serious skill. But I love that Hooney truck. It's so
yeah,
good.
The Hoona truck is an amazing piece of work. So that is the Climbkana 2. That is available now on the Hoonigan channel. Check it out on their channel. You guys noticed the livery on that truck. We asked a very special livery creator in our community named Jay Filer to recreate that livery in Forza Horizon 4. He's going to make that available on his gamertag any moment now. His gamertag is Jay Filer, J-F-I-L-E-R. You guys can search for it and get that updated Hoona truck livery. If you've got the Hoona truck, you can get that livery and put it on your Hoona truck. And if you don't have the Hoona truck, remember it's part of the Forza Horizon 4 Car Pass as part of the Hoonigan Pack. So get the Hoona truck, get the gamertag J Filer, get that livery, and make sure you've got the latest Hoona truck livery on there. All right. Speaking of Hoona truck, Ali, is it time for a competition?
Time for a competition. So
I'm going to turn it over to you.
What better way to break in the new paint, to celebrate the awesome drift vid from Hoonigan, than to welcome both of you to a world of pain that I have created specifically for both of you, called the Melberg Ring. It's the Hoonschleifer, and this is a custom route that we have on Horizon 4.
Okay.
It's going to be a competition. Both of you guys are going to run your best time around the route.
Okay.
If you do a rewind, if you make a mistake, it's going to cost you 5 seconds on your time.
So no rewinds, basically.
Rewinds is badly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you heard it here first. And the loser has to wear a T-shirt celebrating. So, Brian, if you were to lose, for example, you would have a T-shirt celebrating Mellish.
Mellish rolls.
Mellish rolls. And Mellish, we have a reciprocal T-shirt.
We got to get these in the Forza merch shop.
Yeah, no, honestly, I just want to say that I'll wear this regardless.
I'm going to wear it.
It's got a great beard on it, man.
Thanks, man.
It's all right.
Appreciate it. All right, so
we're loading up into the event. We've got.
We're both
Hooney
more
truck.
excited about the prizes. These are the prizes, not punishments.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say,
Backfiring horribly. I'll take away your T-shirts if you lose.
All right, so we're in the Hoonigan truck.
That's right, in the Hoonigan truck, and we're at a specific track. I built it. It looks a little bit like the one that Ken Block was at, and it's that kind of a vibe. Brian, you get the advantage of going second here.
Excellent.
So there's a little bit of there it is, the Melbourne Ring Hoonschleife.
Oh, I love it. And it says Yachts Presents as well. I love it.
Manish, when you're ready, press that A button, set your
Stock,
time.
We're completely stock, no tuning.
No tuning, stock car.
I'm just saying, I ain't got my glass on, so this.
Oh, is that it? Pre-built excuses, beautiful.
All right. We're off ski. Manish, I decided to put the track in the rain just to make it a little bit more difficult, to make it slightly harder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's Ken Block went for a sunny day. Which,
no.
Ooh.
Yeah, he had perfect conditions. We've got like a nightmare storm on Fortune Island.
If Mechberg gets sunshine and grip, I'm about to flip.
Man, Mecklenburg's driver tire's right up ahead.
I can't keep it straight.
He won. It's already over. Here we go. Right, so heading up the mountain now, and this is where things start getting very,
I can't keep it straight.
Oh, look, just like Ken Block. Just like Ken Block. Well done.
Beautiful drift. I love that. And right, we're into the what I like to think of as really the heart of the Hoonschleife now.
Okay.
Manish,
I can't.
Oh, missed the gate. Missed the gate.
I didn't miss the gate.
Just
No.
about.
How
made it.
dare you?
Just about made it.
Just
Good skills, Melish.
I have to say, these gates are nice and wide. I'm surprised you haven't gotten cruel on us yet.
Who has assigned the horn button to like the A? Because I keep hitting it. It's like I'm just a really angry
part of the
30-year-old.
challenge.
Like, get out of the way.
Where is handbrake? Is handbrake in LB?
I don't know, but it's like a stress test. I'm about a few beads of sweat on my forehead.
Oh, you got Don Juan Song in front of you. He's not going to let you pass him.
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
There
you
it
won
is.
5
That's a
seconds.
rewind.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. Count
Beautiful.
on the
Now I
this
just
is
got to drive conservative.
Five seconds.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. You might be stuck, dude.
No.
You might
Come
be
on.
stuck. I could drive this in reverse at this
is gonna
point
be-
and win this.
I'm gonna have to wear that tee. I don't care. I'm
That's
wearing that tee
15
anyway.
seconds of penalties, right? That's 2
maybe one
reverses
more
right
as
there.
well.
I'm gonna have to go back again.
Yeah,
is.
that's 20 seconds.
Oh my God,
penalties.
those strat rewinds.
It's looking good. It's looking strat rewind. It's looking good for Mechberg.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, mid-race interview.
That
Mecklenburg had like a
horn,
chance.
honestly.
I'm feeling pretty
It's
good
like
at this
feeling
point.
pretty good. You know when you have like a screaming baby in your head? It's like that horn is really starting to hit me psychologically.
Lightning's crashing in the distance. Things are getting real here.
Oh my God, that horn! Ali did this. This is so unfair, Ali.
This is the most intense race I've seen on Horizon. You're getting towards the end of the challenge now. You can see on the mini-map there, just a couple of corners remaining. One long right-hander, and then it's a straight run to the finish line. Don Jones.
Don's on my team.
What is going on here?
Don's not going to let you by, man. You got to work to get around Don.
Okay. We're
Oh,
gonna
look at
have
that little shortcut. So 206
Plus about
plus 20 seconds.
20 seconds of penalties.
226.
Shall I just
Guys,
put a
write this
t-shirt on
down.
now?
226, 7
No, don't
seconds.
write this down. And if you're going to write it down, just be a bit murky with it. You know, just blend that 20 into a 10. So
How did you feel about your run there, Mel?
man, I feel really triggered right now.
You're already triggered. All right, we're going to restart. It's my turn.
Oh, look, it's beautiful sunshine as well.
No, I'm sure it's going to be consistent.
That horn will
So
get
I
to you.
just-
That horn will get to you.
Honestly, I could still blow this. Let's be real here. I could still blow this.
I have every faith in you blowing this.
That's more.
He designed this. This was his design, and it was designed to make you fail.
Here we go. So it's another rainy start. At least we've got the
Yeah, we got
the rain.
consistency
We've got
here.
consistency. This is a very competitively authentic process that we're doing
Little
here.
bumper
at the,
cars,
Melbourne.
using them as helping me turn there.
So if you can keep this clean, Brian, with
Yes.
20 seconds of penalty, I feel like you got this.
I think you're right. I think as
honestly,
long as
this-
once we get up on the cliffs there, if I can keep it on the
Just
road.
measure you up a little bit.
I will wear this if I can. Got permissions beside permissions.
The
I will wear
punishment
this
is
for
we're
the
going to
Forza
cut the belly.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a half shirt. It's going to be a belly shirt.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think all of the Forza RC is brought to you by Lamborghini, apart from Melish's commentary, which is brought to you by Brian. Brian's face.
I mean, if we can wear it together on the desk, we can look at each other's eyes. Just look into each other's eyes.
That's right. We can never stop looking at each other. It's gonna be amazing. No matter where we look.
How's it feeling, Brian? How you getting
I
on?
feel really good. I mean, I
gonna
don't
beat
think
me. He's
as
actually
long as
gonna
I
beat me.
don't miss any gates,
Just punch
Okay.
it
I think I'm going to be okay. you know.
Please, please, please. Oh, no. Come on.
Oh, I got my pride here. I want to go as quick as I can.
This is so unfair.
Is it unfair?
Once upon a time, I remember Brian beating you in an unaired bit of content. So this would be 2
That
for
means
2.
I'm going to be 2-0 against Mel here.
Oh my God.
In officially
Every
sanctioned
single time me
competition.
and Brian do a challenge, I lose. Every
Well-
time. It's 2 for 2 right now.
The thing is, you know, in real life, Mellish is way faster than me. So that's why they decided to give me second billing here.
I think you're starting to convince me you're just a better driver all around. Like, I'm going to
sleeper.
stop. That's what he is. He's a sleeper. Oh, please miss, please miss.
No.
Oh, here we are. We're getting towards the end of the
Come on,
circuit.
off,
Brian,
off.
nice and tidy, beautifully done. Time is
We're almost at the end here, boys.
1:55.
What was the
Almost
time?
at the end. You were on a 2:26 or something like that.
So I'm actually going to lose a time without the penalties.
Even without it.
Oh, I might get
There
it.
it is. Beauty.
207. So
Brian.
had you not had those penalties, I would
I
have
still would have lost.
Yeah.
No, I still would have lost. I still would have lost because you were like 30
Yeah, I know.
seconds faster.
I know. So maybe
You've been awarded.
Maybe-
You've been awarded
Well,
for your
thank you.
efforts
Yeah,
out
maybe we could
there.
put that on.
Well done,
I know.
Manish.
Is this for
Brian,
taking part?
congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate
Great
that.
job.
It's such a beautiful face, though.
I love it. Honestly, I'm keeping mine too. I'm keeping.
I'm not giving these back. This
What's that? This is mine.
This is like my pajama collection after the FRC.
Yeah.
This is the worst competition ever. I'm the only one leaving with nothing.
That's right.
You guys are welcome to race the Melberg Ring Hoonschleife. You just had to go onto the Blueprints menu and on Horizon, unfortunately.
That was a lot of fun, especially when you win. It's a lot of fun. Appreciate that.
Oh,
Listen, that about brings us to the end of the show. We had a great time. Hope you enjoyed this edition of Forza Monthly. Listen, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. This is a busy week for Forza. Let's bring up the stream count. Look at that thing. My God, it's like incredible how much stuff is going on. John Iwan is going to be here right after the show's done with Tuesday Drive, and he'll also be doing Wheel and Pedal Wednesday and Thumbs Up Thursday. We will have Hey Watch This. Mellish, you've got your Inside Line coming up on Wednesday. You're going to be
Tomorrow.
previewing all the action, right?
Yeah, I've got that and the Mellies.
And the Mellies. Tell me about the Mellies.
Right, well, it's just, it's not my idea. It was someone else's idea.
yeah?
No, it was kind of like a 50-50, but it's going to be nominations. We're going to have some kind of like, I'm going to have an award ceremony for like some of the best bits during the Forza season so far.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily to the best people, it's to people that made, those moments matter.
All sorts of awards for Mellies. Well, tune in for that 8 a.m. Pacific tomorrow.
Yes.
Early day for you. That'll be fun. I don't want to miss the Inside Line. And, of course, the Forza RC Finals coming up this weekend. Boy, look at that. November 23rd and 24th, both starting at 10 a.m. Pacific. It's the Forza RC Invitational Series Finals presented by Lamborghini right here on the Forza channel. Guys, it's going to be an amazing bunch of racing. I can't wait to be there with you in LA to bring you all the action. Thank you to Mellish and thank you to Ali and John Knowles for being a part of this show today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be back in December for the December edition of Forza Monthly. See you then. Bye.